have roll call, please?
Holland,
Yes.
Lenius,
Absent.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Kuzi,
Yes.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Thank you. First thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. I need a motion. Motion by Vaughn, seconded by,
Second.
Hill raised his hand.
Who did, oh. We-
I'm trying to silent
He's
Oh,
trying to
okay.
be silent,
Very good.
which, take either Hill or Holland.
I have one item I wanted to bring your attention to under number 4, Ordinance A, amending the City of Independence Code, inserting a new chapter 112 in the electric franchise. It is the same agenda item, but in the original agenda that you received, it had us going through the whole public hearing process. We've already done the public hearing, it's just an action on second reading, so the agenda is accurate, but I wanted to make sure that the action that you're taking, you understood that there was a change.
When I pulled that back up, it had it off of there.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. We are now done to public comment. Karen, you don't have down what your topic is. Is this something that we're going to be in public hearing on?
No, I just had a question about what happened to the sirens going off on Saturday night. Was there a reason that we were not warned of that tornado that was?
Okay, I'll let you
Apparently
first
there.
give your name and address.
Karen Connell, 312 Second Avenue Southwest, Independence, Iowa.
Okay. And we do have an answer for that. Do you want to give it?
Absolutely. The fire department had their storm spotters out all over the countryside watching the weather. The tornado warning was issued by the National Weather Service out of La Crosse based on radar. We have people actually out in the field watching for the indications, whether it be rotation, hail, trees uprooted, whatever the case might be. There were no indicators that warranted setting the siren off for Independence. And so based on evidence actually on the ground here, that's how they made that decision on Saturday.
Do you understand?
Thank God there wasn't a tornado as what you are indicating that there was not. The television issued a tornado warning.
No, the
Ju-
television did not issue a tornado warning. The National Weather Service out of La Crosse had a radar indicated rotation that is the basis that they used for issuing that tornado warning.
Excuse me, but the television station said there was a tornado at Independence and to take all precautions,
But they based it on that reading, not from our spotters,
How could the spotters see a tornado when it was raining as hard as what it was?
because they were out in it.
But they could see a tornado?
They could have been
I
part of
think
it.
it was pretty iffy. I think it would have been a better solution to blow the sirens, get people in where it's safe. If nothing happens, wonderful. But wonder if there was something there. And there was, apparently. But it was totally ignored by, wonder if something would have come down and killed a bunch of people here. Wouldn't it have been better to have blown the sirens? It's just a little bit of electricity.
I appreciate your criticism, but I think that our folks made the right call. And regardless of which way they go on this, somebody is going to be standing at the podium criticizing the decision they make, because if they blow the siren and there's nothing there, we get just as many calls about why are you sending out these false warnings. So I understand what you're saying. I appreciate
Well,
it.
TV tells you there's a tornado. You guys say there's not. If a bunch of people end up dead and there is a tornado, wouldn't it be just a little bit safer to go the extra mile and make sure people are safe? I would feel a lot better. If it's me, I'd feel better if those sirens are blowing, and that's pretty good indicator. It was very, very black, and it was pouring down rain. I don't know how you could tell if there was a tornado up there or not by just looking at it. I think they should have been blown for the safety of all these people in town. Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa, you got down that you're talking about the dangerous animal thing. We do have that on our agenda as an open, or as a discussion. Do you want to talk then rather than now? Okay, I'll make sure I call you up at that point then, okay? Next on the agenda is to approve the consent agenda, approving the minutes of the July 11th, 2016 regular council meeting, city financials for the month of June, fire department financials for the month of June, Independence Area Chamber of Commerce Class B beer includes wine coolers August 5th, 2016 through August 9th, 2016, and Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse LLC Class C liquor license commercial July 20th, 2016 through July 19th, 2017. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Grover, seconded by?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Kuzi. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is a motion to approve the claims for payment.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Holland, seconded by Grover. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Under ordinances, we have an ordinance, a motion, I need a motion to consider adopting the ordinance for the second time of the Chapter 112 electric franchise fee.
So moved.
Motion by Hill,
Second.
seconded by Holland. Any discussion? All those in, do we need a roll call for that? Okay, sorry, do need a roll call.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Kuzi,
Yes.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, under ordinances, the public hearing to amend Chapter 56, City of Independence Code, Dangerous and Vicious Animals. I need a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Motion by Grover, seconded by Hill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We are now in public hearing. Would you like to come up now to talk? Just give us your name and address, please.
Are we in public hearing? Because we just filed for,
Yes.
we filed the,
Motion to hold, we need a motion to hold the public hearing?
Yes,
Temporarily.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Grover,
Second.
second by Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Now you can come, Teresa. Thank you.
My name's Teresa Dudley. I live at 236 Terrace Drive. And first off, I want to thank you for doing this amendment to the ordinance. Gives me goosebumps that you guys have done a good job on this. I just wanted a little clarification of under the quarantine requirements, number 2, letter D. It states to require the owner to inform by any means, including but not limited to the postmaster, utility companies, meter readers, etc. Goes down to or other persons who routinely come on the property of the owner that a dangerous animal is on the premises. But in number 3, it says refer the matter to City Council to determine if the dog or animal should be declared dangerous. And I wondered, does that flow? If you can give a little clarification of that.
Okay.
Or is it just giving the police chief and or their officer that immediate to immediately react or respond in that way to name it dangerous at that moment in time before the city can declare it?
I have your question down, and I think Chief Dallenbach will address that.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So I don't want to cut you short of your comments,
Yeah,
but
and if you don't get the clarification, we'll have you come back up or just let me know.
Okay, I only
Okay.
had one other
Oh, go ahead and do your, because he can answer possibly both of them.
The only other thing, myself and another neighbor, I know it probably doesn't pertain to the quarantine requirements, but maybe you could address it later, is if the owner of the said animal, could there be a waiting period, for them to get another animal? And could it be pending full restitution? You know, I don't know what a good time frame would be for something like that. We were concerned because he had 2 previous dogs that he had gotten rid of for, we didn't feel they were the reasons that he stated at the hearing. But, this was his 3rd dog that actually bit, and then we were kind of concerned, when does he get to have another one? And so, if that's something for future, thought.
Okay,
So, but again, I thank you so much for this. The system works. Thank you.
is there anybody else in the audience that was wanting to come up and speak during the public forum on regards to this? We'll let you go after to explain everybody, Justin. Thank you.
Sherry Koth, 230 Terrace Drive. And I'll just back up what Teresa said. If the waiting period thing could come into play at some point, that would be wonderful.
If the wait, what now?
The waiting period.
Before they could have another animal or
Yes,
something?
yes.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, Dustin. In case anybody has this ordinance on their iPad, the top of it where it says amending provisions pertaining to stop and yield required has been updated to the right thing. We're not quite sure how that got in there. But, so do you want to talk about any changes or updates or corrections you made to this ordinance, or address either one of their questions?
Just wanted to clarify, you had a question with D, correct?
Yes.
And what is it that you actually, that one is confusing to what part of it you were saying?
It mentions that they have to inform postmaster, utility companies, meter readers, or other persons who routinely come on the property that a dangerous animal is on the premises.
Correct.
And the fact that I thought, the city council could only, determine or deem an animal dangerous or vicious.
The city I mean, by the code, that actual code of 56, it explains what a vicious animal is. This is set up so that if it's quarantined, if it's gonna be released back to the owner, then they have to follow all these guidelines here under that section. So if it's actually gonna be released back then to take home, then they have to make sure that they contact the postmaster, utility company, meter reader. The city council will have a hearing to if the dog's gonna be released or moved from the city, is what the city, what we guys would have a hearing for with the city council. So,
So, just for clarification, just because a dog has been deemed a dangerous or vicious dog does not mean necessarily that it must be removed from the city.
correct.
So, under that situation, if it was deemed a dangerous dog, the dog owner would be required to follow Section 2, subsection D,
Correct.
informing those people that would otherwise be there.
Yep, as
And-
well as, I'm trying not to make a buzz out of that, have a orange collar for the animal as well. Is that
What
me?
is that?
Possibly.
Possibly.
You gotta make things scream their own
Might
check.
If the volume is up too loud, then it's gonna, you gotta get reverb back between them.
I mean, these are guidelines that if somebody's gonna take, if a dog would bite somebody and it's taken to the vet clinic, if I would go in, or somebody that I designate to do so goes and verifies that, okay, it's gonna be confined on the premises, has to have a blaze orange collar, has to be securely muzzled, leashed, incidents like that with an 18 18-year-old who takes care of it, they have to sign off on all these before I would allow the animal to leave the vet clinic. So if a small dog would nip somebody and there's no issues with it taken home, they can quarantine it properly instead of leaving it at the vet clinic for the entire period of time, accruing all these vet bills that the person would have to pay. As long as they follow these guidelines and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and sign off saying that they are doing that, I could release it back to their home. So that way, that's what these are following for that section in number 2.
I think part of it is, this is to alleviate that kind of gap there between when the incident happened and when the city council dealt with it.
Correct.
So the city council has not dealt with the dog issue when this goes into effect.
Right.
This just gives the rights to the
Right.
police to quarantine it.
So that way we can, if the dog would happen to bite somebody today, if this was in place, we could pick them up, take them up to the vet clinic. Myself or somebody I designate would go and figure out, look at the dog call, because if it happens on 3rd shift or 2nd shift, I'm not out. If I get called out for this, I can go talk to all the neighbors, talk to the person that was bitten, talk to the owners of the dog. In the situation that we had, obviously the neighbors weren't safe with the dog there, they didn't want it to be around. At that point, it'd be my determination if the dog stays at the vet clinic and doesn't be released. If there wasn't any other issues, it was a little nip on the back of their heel and nobody in the neighborhood was worried about it, as long as the owner follows these guidelines and signs off saying they will, then I could say, okay, we can release the dog back to you for so many days until we determine if we're gonna have a hearing for that dog or not. So.
Okay.
I believe that well, Dustin is here. The public notice did identify Chapter 56 of the Code of Ordinances, and Dustin did determine that Section 55 or Chapter 55 would be more appropriate. And that's what's on the proposed language in front of you, so be aware of that.
Does item 3 on that proposal, which says under 55, the main heading, quarantine requirements, it says that a dog or other animal is in violation of this chapter, the police department. I'm sorry, number 2, the dog or other animal is suspected of having rabies or other disease communicable to humans. Is that replacing when in the paragraph under quarantine on the original,
Correct.
where it talks about public service or public health?
Right. Public health will have their own stipulations, and if they get a call, if we get a dog bite call, we call them automatically. So they're gonna have their own guidelines on this. This way, if we are informed of it, that way we are
Okay.
the ones that go out there.
One thing that I guess I have a question on, Dustin, is can a dog be removed without biting somebody if it's deemed vicious by neighbors complaining that the dog's been vicious at them before that it's bitten somebody?
Under the vicious code, there is, it doesn't, I believe it doesn't have to bite somebody. I believe if it acts in that manner towards somebody, then yes, it could.
Okay,
So, and that'd be something that myself or somebody would have to go and investigate on.
absolutely, but I just wanted to make sure it didn't have to bite somebody before it
No,
got
if it was in that aggressive manner, or I believe a fighting dog, or determination that they are,
vicious.
yes. that way.
Okay, very good.
To address the concern raised for a waiting period, before we added that to the proposed ordinance amendment, I think that needs to be run through legal counsel to make sure that we're not violating anybody's rights.
Yeah. I don't know when you make that kind of determination. I can appreciate that, but I don't know when you make that determination about what's long enough.
Right.
Between, 30 days from the incident, 60 days from the incident, a year. And, and if you went out and bought not a Chihuahua, that would be wrong.
They can
A
bite.
smaller dog, generally considered to be, noted to be friendly and that sort of thing. If they did that the very next day, would that be a problem?
That's it. And who knows if a dog now is friendly or will bite tomorrow, or if the next one he has will do the same. The third one might not. You really can't determine
Right.
that. And everything I've done through here, I've worked with David with the city attorney, so.
But we probably want to ask the question anyway, just to see what their response is.
Right, and the suggestion of full restitution, that's an interesting standard to be met for that, and I think that warrants a question. That probably has the most merit to the waiting period of anything I can think of, so I appreciate that idea. I don't know if it changes it from a legal standpoint or not, but at least it sets a standard that is, fairly definitive and maybe it gives you something to go on.
Add something to that? To why I mentioned that is, if an owner can afford to adopt another dog, pay for all the shots and take care of it the way a responsible owner should, if they haven't paid their restitution, they shouldn't be allowed to, I'm not saying in this instance this neighbor should not be allowed, but, say the next dog bites, how many instances for one household, but, okay.
No, I
thanks.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any questions for me?
It looks a little different on the outside.
I feel that on the side.
This is a good feeling?
I like it.
Okay.
Since we do have some wording changes and stuff like that, can we still go ahead and pass this for the first time and then at the next reading would have the corrections at that point, or?
Subject to changes.
You are able to make minor changes, I use that word a little bit loosely, but you can make changes that are not substantive up to the final reading. So
Okay.
if you are ready to adopt this on first reading in its current form, understanding that there could be some minor language changes, that's fine. If you're not comfortable doing that, the public hearing still stands and we can have the actual first reading at a later meeting too.
Okay. Is there any other comments from other council members before we close the public hearing? Mayor?
I think we just go with what we've got at the present time. That way we make sure that we don't can put a dog in quarantine.
Okay.
And thank you, Chief Dallenbach, for your work there.
If there's no one else, then I need a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments.
Make a motion.
Motion Grover?
Second.
Second by Brown. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. And then now, motion to receive, file, and consider adopting the ordinance for the first time, if you're comfortable in doing so, with the changes we've discussed.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Kuzi, seconded by Grover. No further comment. Roll call, please.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Kuzi,
Yes.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is petitions. We have a citizen's petition requesting special election to fill 4th Ward Council position. It was on your agenda to go into public hearing. We do. Right here. Okay, so I need a motion to receive and file the citizen's petition requesting a special election to fill the 4th Ward Council position. Mr. Kuzi has to
Yep,
abstain
I have
from
to
all of
abstain.
this part since he was appointed to that position. You are aware of that?
Yes,
Sure.
I am.
So,
I'll make the motion. We have to under code.
okay,
I'll
motion by
second.
Hill, second by Grover. I don't know that there's a whole lot of discussion, so do we need a roll call for it?
Yes.
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, under resolutions, I have a resolution setting the date for public hearing on proposal to enter into a general obligation corporate purpose loan agreement and to borrow money thereafter to principal amount not to exceed $1,115,000. This is strictly setting a public hearing.
This is the amount of the 2016 street projects. It is proposed to be paid for with TIF revenues. However, in the state of Iowa, the way the TIF revenues work, we have to incur the expense prior to certifying the TIF debt. There is a lag in there. So whether it be a 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 10-year term, you still have to go through this process to hold the public hearing. And it is proposed or has been proposed that it would be deemed as a short-term financing, internal or external. You need to hold the public hearing.
So are we suggesting our next council meeting be the date, because it's not listed in here? Or-
Yes, the public hearing for this would be at the next council.
It's in the resolution, it says 8 August. And I'll make a motion that we approve that.
Okay, motion by Holland, seconded by
Second it.
Grover.
Can I ask a question? This is for the 2016 street
This
water
is
system?
This is just setting a date for a public hearing,
Well,
so.
can I get some
that-
clarification on what this amount is for?
It is
You
for
just-
the 2nd Street Southeast Street and Storm Sewer, 2nd Street Southwest Storm Sewer, and 11th Street Northeast Street and Storm Sewer projects.
That's already done? Not done?
That we just awarded the contract for.
Right.
So then we're taking on another $1 million debt, right, for this?
Whether we pay for it with TIF dollars or, I mean, however you want to do it, that's what's proposed to do. But Iowa code requires us to incur the expense prior to certifying the TIF to do the TIF capture. It doesn't matter how we do it, we have to have a public hearing to borrow the money until the TIF revenues are here.
And how much of the TIF revenues pays for this project? That
$1,115,000.
pays for the whole thing?
Right.
Right.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Did we get a motion?
Yeah, I seconded it.
Okay. And you need a roll call for this. Thank you.
Kuzi,
Yes.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
absent, Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Thank you, motion is carried. Next, we have a resolution. I need a motion to approve a resolution calling for a special election to fill the 4th Ward Council position. It would be set for August 30th, I believe, is what the city, or the county.
The county
Auditor gave us-
auditor has set August 30th as the special election date, August 5th for the deadline to have papers filed or
Okay.
petitions filed to be on the ballot.
Do I hear a motion? Motion by Vaughn, seconded by
I'll second.
Brown. Roll call, please.
Grover,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Denise is absent, Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Okay, and this again was one that Mr. Kuzi
Yep,
had to
I knew.
abstain from. You can be quiet most tonight, can't you? Under new business, I need a motion to approve the Spear Municipal Advisor Relationship Letter.
So moved.
Motion by Holland, seconded by
Second.
Hill. I heard him first,
Yeah, he's fine.
sorry.
That's all good. I spoke enough
Speak
tonight.
up. Okay.
So what is this thing?
This is the relationship letter between Spear Municipal Finance Advisors and the City of Independence to provide us with the municipal finance direction, advice, what have you. They are also the ones that are the walking through the bond sales, our annual TIF reporting.
Okay.
You probably have met Maggie Berger, who usually comes from Spear when
Yeah.
any things come up. Okay,
got it.
okay. So we have a motion second. You don't need a roll call on this? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion is carried. I'm down to reports. I see only our librarian person here. Would you like to come up and give a report, please? Must have some good activities going on.
Yeah, we do. Good evening. one of the activities we had on Saturday was a grand opening for our Little Free Libraries. We have 6 Little Free Libraries in the city in public spaces, and people seem to be enjoying those. My family's a steward for one of them, and several times when we've gone down there to check it out and see if new books need to be added or anything, there have been people there looking at it, so it's been fun, and the community really seems very receptive of it. Despite the hot, humid weather, we had over 70 people at the grand opening, so, and had lots of fun. Balloon animals and cookies by Kathy's Cakes, so you missed out if you weren't there. Our summer reading program is winding down, and that went well too. For those of you out in the public, the reading logs are due in by July 31st. So if you want to be eligible for prizes and grand prizes and get your incentives, make sure you bring those in by the 31st of July. We did have a record number of people participate, with 1,072 participating in the program. So we felt good about that too. We have been working on some revisions in our contract with the county, and I've been working with Al and with Carter, the city attorney, on that. So that's in process. And then we have also been working on a fundraiser for One Book, One Independence. Last year, you might remember, I boldly gave each of you a book and said, you need to read this. and we'd like to do it again. It was a lot of fun. We did Orphan Train last year, and so we're raising money so that we can offer something like that again. And we have had some nice donations. We have a memorial, Lee Greenlee's memorial has gone towards that project, and we have money from the Library Foundation, and a few donations that we started with, and then we started this Give Me 5 campaign where we ask people to give us $5 to go towards the project. And we have had some people give much more than $5, and brought in more than $2,000 so far, and are about $600 from our goal of $5,000. So we are feeling good about that. Looks like we'll be able to do that next year. So that's all I have for tonight. I apologize, I've missed so many meetings. I was a host at a meeting, and then I had a lot of ball games that my daughter was in. That's why I have not been a regular attendee lately.
We're always glad to see you.
Thank you.
Okay. There's anybody hiding behind the TV or anything, is there?
Just Blake.
Okay, then Dustin gets to come up next. How do you like being out there and having this part of it instead?
I'm not a public speaker, but I'm learning to be one.
Okay.
So, over the last couple of weeks, we've had pretty good operation in the police department, not a whole lot of issues. K-9 over the weekend did get a drug arrest, which was good. Along with an OWI, which I believe Officer Isaac was involved and Officer Cass were involved with those two. We did have another dog bite this weekend that I am working on right now. Officer Isaac picked up that call, and we'll see what that is. We've had people spray painting, fortunately. Some nasty words down at the teacher's park. There was a swastika at Veterans Park, and then another swastika painted on a rock over by the orchard. So, yes, somebody is out spray painting with black spray paint. They've all been black spray paint. I can't say they're all the same person, but I'm guessing they probably are. Other than that, I had the officers, the department, I started an Operation Safe Week about a week and a half ago. I said for 3 weeks, so until August 3rd. Having the officers pay attention to more of the crosswalks, people running stop signs or running stop lights, and either issuing tickets or warnings for them, paying attention to people that are out walking, If they see anybody on a bicycle that's not doing things correctly, if you're on the street riding a bicycle and there's a stop sign, you stop just like a vehicle. If you're on the sidewalk, you walk it across like you would a person, not drive it across where the sidewalk is at. You still need to operate as other people do. So just paying attention to that, and having a big success of the stops for the stop signs and stoplights. So keep people aware. We put a lot of stuff on Facebook. I'm more computer orientated, and I'm trying to get more of the department in that, so a lot more stuff will be out there on Facebook, trying to keep people updated on things. So other than that, everything has been really well. It's that time of vacation, so we're having people coming in and out with vacation here and there. So I missed out on the lovely storm we had this weekend. I was down in Des Moines with my family, so I missed out on all the rain. So but,
Lucky you.
so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Council, Mr. Kuzi, since you're new, I'm gonna let you go first in the reports. You have anything you would like to share with us tonight?
Not really, other than, been getting a lot of calls on the speed limit thing and people, asking if, officers can cover the east side of First Street a little better to see if we can slow people down up that way. So, other than that, things are going okay.
Okay. Austin?
Besides finding out this weekend I had some really awesome squeegee skills, not a whole lot.
With all the rain. Mr. Brown?
I want to thank Laura for these little mini libraries around. I've heard a lot of good comments on it, and it was very successful Saturday. I was over there. My wife had to drop me off because I was too far for me to walk. So I live half a block from there. So anyway, I appreciate the effort you're putting into the reading program and getting a lot of good comments about it.
Probably should have mentioned that the little free libraries were a collaboration, so it wasn't just the library responsible for that.
Let's get any feedback. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing else. That's it.
Mr. Holland?
Nothing.
Mr. Vaughn?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Hill?
Nope, nothing.
Susie? Any comment? You're
I'll
gonna-
pass.
Okay. She's so glad she's here to take notes.
We were so close to your half hour, by the way, Susie.
Al?
Just to make a note, anybody interested in running for the council seat in the special election for 4th Ward, the papers will be available starting tomorrow.
Okay. I wanted to make sure everybody knew that I have asked Todd Kuzi to be on our Public Works Committee and also the Performance Finance Committee, which he's agreed to. So I think some of those meetings will be coming up this week, and we'll get you started there. Had some other things, but I don't think we need to do them tonight, so if everybody is done, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Motion by
second.
Vaughn, second by Grover. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We are adjourned. So let me come out on time.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
And you said you wanted